essas duas diferenciações que tornam bem claros, porque de uma maneira natural tu acaba absorvendo muito do conteúdo, da oralidade, da fonética, e isso ajuda muito a melhorar o inglês, né? Eu, particularmente, tenho uma dificuldade com a língua, tinha antes de fazer o curso, vi que eu já conhecia bastante do inglês, mas não me dava conta e não usava dessas habilidades e dessas coisas tão cotidianas como uma série, que é algo que eu já fazia, que eu já assistia, que eu cresci fazendo e que são ferramentas de ensino e que eu não enxergava, eu fui enxergar justamente aí contigo, né? Aí, né, one-to-one. E que funcionou muito bem. Para mim foi uma porta justamente para essa compreensão. No meu caso, eu acho que teve uma carga muito interessante na confiança de eu consigo, dá para ser fluente, dá para ter esse conhecimento de uma maneira natural e acessível, de uma
Mas,
forma interessante e
legal.
leve, né? Antes de mais nada, assim, é leve.
O inglês é o mesmo, independente se você aprende num livro ou se você vai aprender assistindo Netflix. A diferença é que pode ser muito mais divertido de aprender assistindo com algo que você gosta. Então, as aulas que eu tenho na One-to-One, elas me ajudam bastante a entender como eu posso aplicar o vocabulário, como eu posso aplicar o conhecimento que eu já tinha conseguido na época de escola, ou que eu tinha, enfim, aprendido assistindo sozinho, mas agora realmente entender como aquilo faz sentido dentro de uma lógica, de uma estrutura linguística, e como aquilo pode ser incorporado dentro do meu vocabulário para que quando eu preciso me expressar da mesma forma, eu consiga pegar aquilo e ter todas as ferramentas que me ajudam a entregar realmente o que eu quero. Então, eu já tinha essa facilidade de entender bastante séries, filmes e vídeos do YouTube em inglês, eu consumia bastante isso, e dentro da One-to-One eu pude usar isso, que é uma coisa que eu gosto muito, para conseguir realmente estruturar a minha cabeça e treinar o meu cérebro para quando eu precisar entregar, quando eu precisar falar, eu me sentir tão fluente quanto eu me sinto quando eu ouço.
Como você falou, né? Essa nova abordagem que a gente usa aqui, ela é nova para você, né? Você já tinha
Uhum.
estudado de outra forma. E eu queria te perguntar o seguinte: como é que é para você essa experiência de estudar inglês, em vez de usar um livro, por exemplo, ou um método tradicional clássico, pegar uma série, por exemplo, pegar um episódio de Friends, como a gente já pegou, assistir e usar aquilo para aprender inglês? Como é que é essa experiência para você?
Eu acho que está sendo bem mais interessante do que as aulas que eu costumava fazer, porque eu acho que estimula mais. É uma série que eu já gosto, por exemplo, o Friends, né? É uma série que eu já gosto, que eu já assistia, então eu me forço a tentar entender o que está sendo dito. Então eu acho que isso tu junta duas coisas, tu tá te divertindo, porque é uma coisa que eu gosto de fazer, e tá tentando aprender mais. Eu acho que isso é bem legal e estimula, não torna chato e maçante a aula. Isso eu acho que faz
Legal.
bastante diferença.
Tá, eu acho muito legal a gente ter aula nesse formato. Além de ser mais divertido, eu acho que é mais prático, porque a gente consegue usar no dia a dia, que é o que realmente a gente, hoje em dia, pretende, né? A gente quer viajar e conseguir falar e entender bem. Então, eu acho que com as séries e os filmes, a gente consegue ver bem como eles falam e aprender exatamente do jeito que eles falam. Isso que eu acho que é bom.
Hello, welcome to our program, Gateway to Fluency. You're very, very welcome here. How are you guys? So I wanted to start our webinar with our students, talking about their experience with our way of teaching, because as you can imagine, because I wanted you to hear from other people, not from me. Because, of course, my opinion is biased. I very much believe in this approach, and I've been using it for years. So that's why I wanted you to hear from somebody else. In this case, I wanted you to hear from our students. Okay, but this webinar is about you, because I want you to be exposed to a different way of learning the language, and And I want you, so I'm sorry. Let me just catch up here. I got lost a little bit. Okay, guys. So what I was saying is this. I want this webinar to be about you. It's about exposing you to a different way of learning English. And it's about letting you be the judge of that. You decide if this method, if this system works. Okay, so you heard my students saying that most people nowadays, they're tired of traditional methods, classic methods of studying the language. They're tired of working with textbooks and grammar exercises. Nobody wants that anymore. But if you're studying English, it's because you want to learn English, because you want to develop your fluency and you want to use English for communication. And if you're here, it's because that call I made when I appeared on your YouTube or on Instagram, and I invited you to hit that button and subscribe and come here. And I invited you to attend a seminar, a webinar, 100% in English. That must have made some kind of sense to you, because after all, you made all the way here and you're here with us now. And I told you that this would involve no translation. But then again, I would like to say that my opinion about this is biased, because that's what I believe in. I believe in studying English without translation. But anyway, I wanted to point this out to you. There is a YouTube video I posted a couple of days ago in which I talk about the translation method and why I think it works. I mean, it's a 7-minute video and you can watch it there. I'm just going to summarize it to you very quickly. What I mean is this. I think that when you work with translation, it's like you have 2 hard drives in your brain, one for Portuguese and another one for English. And when you work with translation, you keep, spinning those 2 hard drives. You have to work with both of them. And the metaphor and the logic here is very simple. If you have a computer running 2 hard drives, don't you have to send more? Don't you have to use more electricity to run those 2 hard drives? So think about your brain. So if you're working with 2 languages, doesn't it seem logic that you're going to be spending more energy? I strongly believe in that. And then you might be saying, okay, Alfredo, but what do you propose? What do you suggest instead? Well, I suggest we save that energy and we use that energy to learn more English. That's what I think we should do. Okay. So then we get to this point, and you might be thinking, okay, but where is Alfredo going with this? Well, here I would like to propose a question and an answer to you. If you ask me, hey Alfredo, what does it mean to you to become fluent in English? Well, for me, I think the answer can be encapsulated into one word: dream. It's a dream. It's a dream to be able to travel, to any place around the world. It's a dream to be able to study abroad, to get a promotion, to watch the news fresh. Suppose an accident happens in London, and in a matter of seconds you access a British YouTube channel and you get fresh news in English. You don't have to wait until those news are translated into Portuguese here in Brazil. No, you get them fresh and in English. So it's the dream of watching films, comedies, and understanding the jokes. And it's the dream of not having to use subtitles when you watch films. But there's another word that I like to associate with with this answer. What does it mean to become fluent in English? Well, I think it also means freedom. You know, it means to be free, to go wherever you want, because a lot of people sometimes they say to me, "Oh, but I can't go to Germany because I don't speak German and I don't speak English." So maybe you don't do this because, you know, after all, if you're here, it's because you understand what I'm saying. You might have seen some of my videos on YouTube. You really accepted the challenge of attending a seminar, a webinar completely in English. But a lot of people, you know, who are not fluent in English, it's almost like Portuguese to them, you know, and the scope of Portuguese is like a prison. They can't get out of the scope of Portuguese. At least some people feel that way. They don't want to venture outside. And then imagine this, a student, you know, doing a master's course or doing a PhD or something like that, and he's doing some search on Google for articles and YouTube videos about that subject that he's researching about. Think about that. Well, that search is limited to the amount of information that is about it, about that. It's available about that subject in Portuguese. So, I mean, you must have done that. You know how much more is available to you in terms of information when you do your search in English. And like I said about traveling, you can go wherever you want. Okay? And that's why I strongly advocate this principle, you know, English in English. I think we should do that. I think we should learn English in English. Okay, and like I said, you know, I think that the fact that you're here, you know, attending this seminar and following me and trying to understand as much as possible, I think that means a lot. You know, I think you're already taking a big step. Okay, and at this point, I would like to take a little break here and tell you a little bit about myself. Because imagine that if you subscribed to this webinar because of that, because of those videos that I posted, you know, advertising this webinar. Like I said, the fact that the webinar would be about learning English in a different way, using series and films that you already, let's say you already consume, I suppose that this idea must have appealed to you. That's why you're here. And I want to congratulate you for that. But I also want you to know a little bit about me, because that's sort of what I would do if I were looking for a course on a specific subject that I'm interested in. I would try to get some information about this person who's offering this course. And so the first thing I would like to tell you, the first thing I would like to share with you is my passion for English, because I've been in love with this language for more than 40 years. I like working with English. I like speaking and listening to English more than I like working with Portuguese. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I don't like Portuguese. I'm not saying that I don't like my country, and I'm not saying that I don't like my culture. No, but I want you to know how much I love English. And my story with English started when I was about 10 years old. You know, I got a scholarship with a school of English that had set up shop in my town, and I started studying with them. But this experience was very short. I only studied with them for about 6 months. Okay, the whole story, actually, this story that I'm telling you, is available on YouTube. And if you want to know more about this, I'm sorry that the text there is in Portuguese. This was supposed to be completely in English, but I don't know, somehow when our support team was creating this slide, I forgot to ask them to translate. But anyway, I'm going to translate it to English right now. So if you want to know more, you can access this video about my story with English on YouTube. Okay, It's completely in English there. But anyway, so I studied a lot by myself, but I didn't become fluent in English until my early 20s when I started working and I got my first job. And with my first salary, I bought a video cassette recorder and I enrolled in a school of English. But you see, I was like you, you know, I have been in that place already, the place where you are today, not being fluent in English. So I remember when I started this English course, I enjoyed the classes very much. I went to my classes, I mean, twice a week, and I enjoyed every minute of that class. But you see, and in spite of my passion, in spite of my dedication, I didn't become fluent right away. And one thing that really helped me, and I want to share with you today, it's about the way I started working with videos back then and the impact that this experience had on my life later, my professional life as a teacher. Because it's about working with videos. The technology available to me at that time was just a tape recorder, you know, a video cassette recorder. And I remember I used to rent films and I would put it in my VCR and I would play them, but then I would have the subtitles in Portuguese, which I didn't like very much, because if I kept reading in Portuguese, that kind of interfered with the development of my fluency. So at some point I started covering the subtitles and, you know, practicing more just with my listening. And that's what I do today with my students when I show them videos and I turn off the subtitles. Nowadays I don't have to cover them with subtitles because the softwares and all the applications allow us to turn the subtitles on and off. Anyway, the story is there on YouTube and you are more than welcome to go there and take a look for yourself. Okay? Right. And then I come to the topic of today's lesson. Okay? So we're going to jump right in and take a look at some extracts from series that I'm going to show you the way I use in this program. You know, in this program, Gateway to Fluency, which is about learning English through the series that you already watch from Netflix or Prime Video and so on. I selected two today. I hope I have time to explore both of them. But before we jump right in, I would like to tell you that we're going to do this. First, I'm going to show you how we extract through listening, through watching, you know, the context, you know. In other words, we extract the message not by paying attention to every single word separately. No, we're going to explore the context. And once we do that, once we extract meaning, the next step is to extract from that scene the structure that they use, what kind of verb tenses they use, do they use adverbs, adjectives, and things like that. And I'm also going to select some key areas there, which I think it's in which I think it's very important for you to apply the concept of abstraction. In other words, it's very important for you to abstract those things that you missed, that you didn't understand, because if you focus too much on them, then you end up understanding less of the whole scene. Okay? And then I'm going to wrap this whole thing up, you know, with a mind map. And in the mind map, I'm going to show you how all these elements, how they are placed, and how I explore them later to reconstruct that story orally. Because then when we do that, okay, that's the moment when you're working on your fluency. Okay? So for those of you who are probably thinking, Alfredo, but this is just about listening. Okay, how about speaking? I mean, how can something like that have any kind of impact on my speaking? Well, I hope I'll be able to show you that right now. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you the very first scene. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to turn off my camera so that you can focus on the video, on the story. Okay, guys? So let's have a look at that. By the way, at this point, I have to put a disclaimer out there. Okay, now all of my lessons, all of my video lessons that are part of the Gateway program are based on series, films, news programs available on YouTube already. You see, whatever is there on YouTube is something that I use on my videos. I'm not breaking any law. I'm not infringing any copyright. I'm not making any copyright infringement. But I want to alert you, because since we are doing this webinar here, you know, I don't know, YouTube has a policy in which if you use more than 3 minutes of material, in other words, if I restream, sometimes they stop streaming that material that I'm streaming. They kind of, I think they mute, they turn the sound off. My support team is here working with me, and they are and they're paying attention to this. But I want to put this disclaimer there. I hope it's not going to happen, but it does. You already know why it's happening. Okay, so let me go ahead and play the video.
Joey. Oh my God. Okay. So, guess we should make it official, huh?
Look, Rach.
Hey! Okay, guys. And I have to stop this video at this point to give you guys some context, because otherwise it would be very difficult for you to follow the story. Okay? So let me explain to you what's going on here. Now, this is Rachel. This is from the American series called Friends. For those of you who have never seen it, it's okay. But you have to know this. Rachel had a baby. She has had a baby. The father of her child is Ross. They used to be together, boyfriend and girlfriend. And this guy here is a friend of the couple. And Rachel is no longer dating, or she's not married to Ross. Ross is just the father of her baby. And Joey was in the hospital visiting her when he accidentally found a ring. And Rachel misunderstood that moment, and she thought that Joey, this guy here, was proposing to her. Okay? So it's just for you to understand that Rachel was having a baby with Ross, but they were not together anymore. And at this point, she, for some reason, believed that one of her best friends was proposing to her. Let's continue the scene.
Hey, Ross is here! Hey! Hey.
Hey.
Listen, I heard about the engagement.
Surprised?
And confused. Rach, sweetie, I didn't propose to you.
I know.
I don't think you do.
You didn't propose to me. Joey did.
Poor baby, you're so tired. Rach, I didn't propose to you. Joey didn't propose to you. And Chandler didn't propose to you.
You didn't propose to me. Chandler didn't propose to me. But Joey did.
Joey proposed to you.
I can come back.
Wait. Joey, did you propose?
Okay, guys. So at this point, I would like to stop the video for a second, because when I told you the way I was going to explore this clip, right? I told you that the first thing we were going to do was to explore understanding through the context, right? So, as you could see, Joey had a ring, and Rachel looked at him and she saw the ring and she assumed that he was proposing. But he never did. He never actually said, hey, Rachel, would you like to marry me? Hey, Rachel, will you marry me? He never said that. Okay, and then of course, you would have to watch the whole episode to understand why this whole situation became so confusing. But then we get to this point where Ross was trying to explain to her that even though she had that ring, because throughout the film, we learned that she got the ring because she thought that Joey proposed to her, but actually he never did. And then later, when people saw her with the ring, everybody thought that Ross was in fact the guy who proposed to her. And at this point, Ross came into the room. And if you understand a little bit of Simple Past, you notice that he was there to explain that nobody proposed to her. Okay, so let's just see how the scene ends before I open the map and explain to you where that information is.
To her?
No.
Yes, you did.
Actually, technically, I didn't.
Well, then why did you give me a ring?
Wait, whoa, you gave her the ring?
No, and I did not ask her to marry me.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. And don't you say you didn't. He was right there. He got down on one knee and he proposed.
Whoa, you were down on one knee?
Yeah, that looks bad. But I didn't. I didn't propose.
Then.
Okay. So let me just go back a little bit here.
Proposed to me. But Joey did.
And let me go ahead now and explain to you using the mind map. Okay, guys. So, I called this episode, the proposal. In fact, nobody proposed, but let's see what's going on here. So Ross came into the room, okay, to explain to Rachel that he didn't propose to her. So he said, Rachel, sweetie, I didn't propose to you. And what makes this funny is the way she responded, the way she answered, because she said, well, I know that you didn't propose to me. Because then she said, well, Joey did. That's her first answer, okay? So she said this, Joey did. Okay, but when Ross said that he didn't propose to her and she was not surprised, she was not shocked, he thought that she was very confused because she had had a baby and perhaps she was very tired. And then he explained and he said, sweetie, listen to this. Let me explain to you. I didn't propose to you. Look, our friend Chandler didn't propose to you. And Joey didn't propose to you. So, notice what's happening here. Let me repeat that. I'm sorry about the resolution there. So, I didn't propose to you, Chandler didn't propose to you, and Joey didn't propose to you. But like I said, she was not surprised, and she simply repeated that. And she said, okay, Ross, you, Ross, you didn't propose to me. Chandler didn't propose to me. But like she had said before, She said, well, but Joey did. And that's the important part of this scene. Okay, so guys, so at this point, what I'm showing you is how we extract from the scene the structure, the grammatical structure of the scene. And this is important for us because you have to learn this, because otherwise, how are you going to use the past with confidence? How are you going to do that? How are you going to use, I'm sorry about this, how are you going to use the past with confidence if you don't learn an important element in the structure of the language, which is the auxiliary verbs? Okay, so the map allows you to do that. Okay, and as I said earlier, okay, at this point, what I would like to do is to, the last thing I want to show you now is about abstracting ideas, okay? So what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to play the video again, and I want you to pay attention to the way Rachel and Joey interact, because I'm going to show you something that I think it's important that we abstract when we don't understand, okay? So let's have a look at this. So here we go.
Joey proposed to you.
I can come back.
Wait. Joey, did you propose to her?
No.
Yes, you did.
Actually, technically, I didn't.
Well, then why did you give me a ring?
Wait, whoa, you gave her the ring?
No, and I did not ask her to marry me.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. And don't you say you didn't. He was right there. He got down on one knee and he proposed.
Whoa, you were down on one knee?
Yeah, that looks bad. But I didn't.
Okay, I know that some of you might understand this, some of you might not. Okay, so now I'm speaking to those of you who miss a little bit here. You know, when she says, hey, yes, he got down on one knee and then he proposed. Well, if you don't know what that means, okay, that's not the most important thing. The important thing is that she is, for some reason, she's sure that Joey proposed to her, that Joey wanted to marry her, and she's trying to convince Ross that he proposed to her. That little thing is not so important. And then when Joey says this, pay attention to this.
I didn't propose.
Then
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies.
No, and I did not ask her to marry me.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. And don't you say you didn't. He was right there. He got down on one knee and he proposed.
whoa, you were down on one knee?
Yeah, that looks bad. But
So Ross said this, were you down on one knee? Which is was a repetition of what Rachel said. But like I said, you missed that. You missed this too. And try not to worry too much. And then Joey says this.
but I didn't.
Joey said, oh, I know, it looks bad, but I didn't propose. So what I'm saying is this. If you don't know what these guys are talking about at this point, that's not the most important thing. Because if you focus too much on this, you miss the other important stuff. Okay. So then, like I said earlier on, at this point, you might be saying, okay, Alfred, so you talked about listening, you talked about listening techniques, and you talked about extracting the structure. Okay, that's very nice. But okay, what about speaking? Well, so that's what I would like to explore with you right now. Okay, so we built this map for a reason, so that we could free your memory, so you could look at the map and have all the memory triggers that you need to remember the story and reconstruct. And then you could look at this map and do something like this. Okay, I want to show you how I do with my students in the course. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. So the story goes like this. So you start by looking at the map and you start by trying to remember. You know that Ross said something, but if you're not 100%, well, then you open the map, because then you have all the memory triggers that you need there. Okay, so in this case, So what did Ross say? Well, Ross said to Rachel that, or he told her that he didn't propose to her. And then how did she respond? How did she answer that? Well, she said that she knew. She knew that he didn't propose to her. In other words, she was not surprised. Okay, now I'm not going to go very deep, but in another lesson, what I would do is to teach you how to report past simple. Okay, we have past simple here. Because then, to use the grammatical structure correctly, we would have to say something like this. Well, Ross went into the room to explain to Rachel that he had not proposed to her. Okay? But this is for a more advanced level. For right now, we're just going to stay with simple past. Okay, so he said that he didn't propose to her. And she was not surprised. She said she knew that. Okay, and then he thought that she was very confused and that she was very tired. And then he gave her a very careful, step-by-step explanation about what had happened. And then he said, oh, sweetie, Ross. So he explained that Ross, that he didn't propose to her. And then he explained that their other friend, Chandler, that he didn't propose to her either. And then in the end, he said that Joey didn't propose to her. In other words, nobody proposed to her. But then she replied by saying that she knew that Ross didn't propose to her. She knew that Chandler didn't propose to her. But Joey did. And at this point, there is another lesson here for us to learn, which is about the use of auxiliary verbs. Because if you look at this, it's really interesting to see this power that auxiliary verbs have. They have the power of encapsulating messages. And here when she says, well, Ross, but Joey did. What is she saying in a very succinct way? Well, she's saying, well, I know that you didn't propose to me, but Joey did. So Joey, in fact, proposed to me. Okay? So this is the first example, okay? With Ross, with friends, okay? And now I would like to take a quick look at another example from another series. And this is from 2.5 Men. Okay, just watch this.
I'm up for that.
No kidding.
As long as we can switch back.
Alan, I believe it's time we get the check. Agreed. Check, please.
Be right back.
Whoa, where are you going?
I'm sorry, guys. Let me repeat that because the cameras were obstructing the view. Let me try again.
I'm up for that.
No kidding.
As long as we can switch back.
Alan, I believe it's time we get the check. Agreed. Check, please.
Be right back.
Whoa, where are you going?
The little boy's room.
He means the little cheap bastard's room.
What's that, Charlie?
Nothing. Excuse me. I thought you had to pee.
I did. I do. I am.
Okay, guys. And for this exercise, okay, the topic that I want to explore is the one that I mentioned in the other video. It's about the power of auxiliary verbs. So let's take a look at what's happening here. I want to share with you, I want to show you how much we learn from films, from series like this. So let's see what's happening. So the two brothers, Charlie and Alan, they had just finished dinner at a restaurant. And because of the girls, you know, they wanted to go somewhere with the girls. Charlie asked for the check. And when he did that, Alan, being the poor brother that he is, the cheap brother that he is, he took off and he rushed to the toilet because he didn't want to help his brother, you know, pay the bill. He didn't want to have to split the bill. And then Charlie gets angry, follows him into the bathroom, and at the door he says this, "Hey, Alan, I thought you had to pee." And how does Alan reply to that? How does he respond? Very succinctly too, he does this. Let's have a look. He says, "I did, I do, I am." And then my point here to my students is this. Well, those people who don't understand how auxiliary verbs in English at this point, they might not understand what the message is. Because you see, one of the functions of an auxiliary verb is to encapsulate a message that comes from the context. And the context is here. You had to pee. I thought you had to pee. You said you had to pee. So when Alan said, "I did," he's actually saying something like this, because the auxiliary did in this case, which I'm separating from the answer, right? I'm analyzing just the auxiliary did. It encapsulates this message here. So when he says, "But I did," it's like saying, "Yeah, I had to pee. When I was there at the table and I left because I had to pee." So when he said, when confronted by his brother, "I thought you had to pee," he said, "Well, I did." In other words, I had to pee. And now, Charlie, you see, I'm here in the bathroom and I do. And now I separate the auxiliary do. And what kind of message does it encapsulate? Well, it encapsulates this message. I have to pee. And then when we get to this point here, the auxiliary verb is I am. And it means I am peeing. So the auxiliary did in the first one encapsulates I had to pee, a message in the past. In the present, I do. I'm here in the bathroom and I have to pee. That's why I'm here. And right now, I'm here in front of the urinal and I am peeing. Okay, so once again, in this video here, we are using the map to show you the structure that we extracted from the scene. But this is also a great tool to help us remember the important key elements of the story and reconstruct. So when I look at that sentence, I can report it like this. Oh, okay, so Charlie went to the bathroom, he followed his brother, and then when he was at the door, he told his brother that he thought his brother had to pee. And his brother said that he did, well, actually reporting this is a little bit more difficult because we are not discussing the more advanced structure yet. But just as an example to you, so he said that he had done, he did, and that he was. That's how we would report these three things here, okay? But to keep it simple, basically his brother said that he did, and that when he is in the bathroom, he needs to pee, he has to pee. And when he says that he is, it's because it means that he is peeing. Okay, so then, guys, at this point, I would like to go back to our presentation here. And now that we've covered this, I guess that at this point, you must have realized how much of the content you were exposed to that we have explored. And then I would like to invite you to think about this, I would like you to explore this wild thought. Think about this. If in 45 minutes, we've been speaking in English for 45 minutes, and if we're able to cover this much, how much more do you think we can cover in 45 hours? Bom, pessoal, e aqui eu gostaria de dizer para vocês o seguinte. O nosso curso regular aqui na One to One, a gente tem esse curso personalizado, só você e o professor. E ele é um curso de 40 horas, são 2 encontros por semana, os horários são definidos, né, entre o professor e o aluno, ele é um horário regular, só que as aulas não são gravadas. E como eu disse, né, você tem esse encontro de 60 minutos, 2 encontros por semana, só você e o professor. E em um semestre a gente faz isso durante 20 semanas, com 2 encontros por semana. Então, se você quiser fazer uma aula dessa, você vai precisar, né, de 40 horas, agendar 2 horários regulares na tua semana para poder fazer essas aulas. E esse curso hoje ele custa 6 parcelas de R$ 595 no nosso regime semestral, totalizando R$ 3.570. A gente tem esse curso, a gente continua tendo esse curso. Mas a minha ideia hoje aqui é de trazer uma oportunidade diferente para você. Porque faz muito tempo que eu tenho esse sonho de poder levar esse conhecimento que eu adquiri ao longo dos anos para um número bem maior de pessoas. Eu vou contar para vocês que comigo aconteceu uma história há muito tempo atrás, quando a aula por Skype ainda era uma novidade. E esse sonho começou a se materializar lá atrás comigo, porque eu lembro que eu tinha uma aluna que teve aula comigo e gostou muito da minha aula, gostou da experiência de estudar comigo, e ela precisava se mudar para uma outra cidade, para um outro estado, e ela estava muito chateada porque a gente ia ter que parar o curso. E foi nessa época que eu tive meu primeiro ímpeto, né, de propor para ela. Não, você não precisa parar de estudar comigo. Vamos começar a fazer aula via Skype. Porque a comunicação via Skype já estava começando a ganhar popularidade. É claro que a internet não era o que ela é hoje, né, e era um recurso bastante limitado, então isso não se consolidou, essa aluna nem fez aula comigo durante muito tempo. Mas ali ficou plantada aquela sementinha, e isso se tornou um sonho para mim. Porque eu fiquei, a partir desse ponto, pensando assim, poxa vida, eu já ajudei tantas pessoas a conseguirem a tão sonhada fluência em inglês, mas eu queria que mais pessoas pudessem conseguir a fluência. E eu tenho certeza que, por exemplo, que o meu curso não é para todo mundo, porque tem muita gente por aí que prefere um curso baseado na tradução, que quer trabalhar com português e inglês ao mesmo tempo, e não tem nada de errado com isso. Eu entendo e respeito isso, mas eu tenho certeza que Brasil afora e mundo afora devem existir muitos outros alunos que têm um perfil parecido com os alunos que já passaram por mim nos últimos 20 anos, por exemplo. E eu hoje, através desse programa que eu criei, né, o Gateway to Fluency, eu acho que eu tenho esse potencial de oferecer isso e atingir e poder ajudar um número bem maior de pessoas. Eu acho que isso é uma realidade. Então eu queria falar agora para você um pouquinho sobre essa oportunidade, né? Qual que é a oportunidade que o Gateway to Fluency ele te oferece? Bom, então você vai ter as mesmas 40 horas comigo. Essas aulas que eu tentei dar uma amostra, tentei dar um exemplo, né? um resuminho dessa aula nos exercícios que a gente fez aqui. Tem muito mais, na verdade, do que tem ali, porque, na verdade, ali nós trabalhamos 20, 25 minutos. Em todas as gravações que eu vou fazer, em todos os exercícios, a gente explora o conteúdo um pouco mais a fundo, né? Eu tentei ali mostrar para vocês algumas coisas que eu acho que são bastante interessantes, que cabiam dentro desse webinário aqui. Mas você vai ter 40 horas de aula. Então, as 40 horas que eu entrego no semestre, você vai ter 40 horas gravadas. Mas não é só isso. Você vai ter também 5 horas de aula que são um bônus desse pacote ao vivo comigo. Elas também vão ser online em função da pandemia. E qual que é o grande atrativo desse programa, na minha opinião? Né? Eu particularmente sou fã dessa ideia. Você pode assistir a hora que você quiser. No esquema hoje da aula, quando é ao vivo comigo, tem que ser naquele horário que a gente combinou. E se você pisar na bola e se atrasar, você vai perder 10, 15 minutos da aula. Se você faltar, você vai perder a aula. Mas aqui não. Você tem essa aula gravada e você assiste ela de manhã, de tarde, à noite, de madrugada, a hora que você quiser. Você pode estudar onde você quiser. Você pode estudar na tua casa, na casa do teu namorado, da tua namorada, né, do teu parceiro, da tua parceira. Você pode estudar no trabalho, você pode estudar no teu horário de almoço, num restaurante, porque esse recurso pode ser acessível. Hoje o 4G é bastante confiável, então você pode acessar também através de qualquer dispositivo. Pode ser o seu smartphone, pode ser o seu tablet, pode ser o seu laptop. E outra coisa que me encanta é o fato de você repetir muitas vezes. Por exemplo, aquele momento ali onde eu expliquei aquela cena de Friends, e aí depois de chegar numa certa altura você ficar em dúvida e falar assim, tá, mas peraí, o que o Alfredo falou mesmo a respeito da Rachel com o Ross? Deixa eu voltar e assistir de novo. Aí você pode voltar e pode assistir aquela explicação de novo. E eu acho que isso é uma coisa muito legal. Bom, e aí, para finalizar, o Gateway to Fluency é esse programa com 10 módulos. Cada módulo tem 4 aulas de 1 hora cada uma, então são 4 horas gravadas. E o primeiro módulo será liberado no dia 4 de fevereiro. E aí eu vou liberar um módulo por semana até o dia 8 de abril, quando a gente entrega o 10º módulo. E eu quero me esforçar, né? Na verdade, já está dentro da nossa programação de fazer um esforço para entregar essa primeira versão do Gateway to Fluency, esses 10 módulos, antes do dia 8 de abril. Mas o meu compromisso com você é esse aqui. Até o dia 8, o 10º módulo já está entregue também. Bom, e esse programa tem mais tem mais um detalhe, né, que faz parte dessa oportunidade. Aquelas minhas 40 horas, quando elas acabam, né? Na 40ª aula, você vai para casa e aí é claro que eu gostaria que você renovasse e voltasse para o segundo semestre, mas aquele pacote termina ali. Essas 40 horas que você vai levar no Gateway to Fluency, elas são suas por 365 dias e você pode assistir quantas vezes você quiser. E agora você deve estar pensando assim, caso isso possa estar passando pela tua cabeça, tá, mas espera aí, eu vi ali, poxa, duas pequenas apresentações com 2 cenas de 2 séries ali, acho que não é suficiente para eu tomar minha decisão. Tá com medo? Tem algum receio? Fica tranquilo, porque depois que o primeiro módulo for liberado, você ainda vai ter 15 dias para desistir se você quiser e vai receber 100% do seu dinheiro de volta. Então, quando o primeiro módulo for liberado com 1 hora de aula, quando o primeiro módulo for liberado com 4 horas de aula, né, eu quero acreditar que essas 4 horas vão ser mais do que suficiente para te mostrar o investimento que você fez, o valor do investimento que você fez. Mas, se você tiver alguma dúvida ou se você se arrepender, ou qualquer razão que seja, você pode pedir o seu dinheiro de volta. Tá? E esse curso, ele está sendo oferecido cerca de 60% do nosso curso ao vivo, né? Individual, só o professor e o aluno, no valor total de R$ 1.970, que você pode pagar em até 10 parcelas de R$ 197. No entanto, as vagas são limitadas, porque em função do número de alunos que eu posso atender, oferecendo aquelas 5 aulas extras ao vivo comigo, que serão aulas em bônus, que serão bônus de aulas, né? E que vão ser entregues em grupos de no máximo 5 alunos. Isso faz com que o número de cursos que eu possa vender nesse programa Gateway to Fluency, ele seja um tanto quanto limitado. Então é isso. Nós vamos abrir o carrinho, ou seja, nós vamos abrir esse programa para as vendas a partir do dia 1º de fevereiro, agora, claro, de 2021, às 8 horas da manhã, e as vendas esse programa vai ficar à venda por 7 dias, ou até se encerrarem as vagas. Queria agradecer a tua presença aqui, queria agradecer você por estar assistindo aqui a nossa apresentação. A gente se vê lá, tá bom? A gente se vê lá dentro do Gateway to Fluency.